Aloha kako ohana. Mahalo for coming again and talking story with your kumu aloha. I'm your kumu aloha koa. And today I'm with my lovely bride, Mrs. Kekoa. And today we're going to be talking story about interracial relationships.
Yeah, it's a cool subject. I didn't really think much about it until client asked if she saw our podcast and she was like, "Why don't you guys talk about interracial relationships?" And I was like, I am in an interracial relationship."
Right.
It just kind of like, okay, I thought that was a great subject to talk about. And there was a few questions that kind of
Yeah.
trickled down
Yeah, sometimes I forget too. Yeah,
throughout the weeks. I know, I forget too. So let's get into it.
yeah, let's
Okay.
get into it.
So,
What are some of the questions?
first one,
Yeah,
how do you navigate cultural differences within your relationship?
cultural differences. So I see we have to have an example, yeah? So what would be the cultural differences?
You asking me?
Yeah, what kind of cultural differences?
There are some. I will be straight up with, I'm not going to say just all black people, but with my family,
Yeah.
we like to party. We like to get loud. We like to have a good time. Everything is a
Well, a
joke.
lot of cultures love to party.
Yeah.
Well, we party different ways,
we party in different ways.
but there's a lot of common ground in partying too, right?
Yeah.
It's about having a good time, about aloha.
We
right?
clown a lot. You guys don't.
Oh, we clown in different ways.
Yeah, you clown in different ways.
I guess the humor is different sometimes. Yeah.
I would say I would say absolutely, because there's some things that I crack up, like my stomach hurts,
Right.
and then you'll just be straight face.
And then it's like, right. But especially when we was younger, right?
Yeah.
As time went by, I guess I started to understand more. The more I started immersing myself in your culture and hanging out around more of your people and doing stuff like partying, right? And talking story and getting a feel for the different perspective. Because a lot of times humor, there's a lot of inside jokes, cultural inside jokes, right? And unless you meet in person and hang out and play, sometimes it's that gives you a deeper understanding to where you can connect with some of the humor. So the question was, how do you navigate cultural differences? So I think it's being open to learn, you know, being open to learn a new perspective. Yeah.
I think that's very true. I know that in the beginning of our relationship, I wasn't so open. I didn't realize we are two different cultures. It's I wasn't ready. So it did take some time. It took a lot of learning and growing and all of the things. And after 20 something years, I think we're good.
Yeah. We came a ways. We came a ways.
I'm going to go on to the next question. What role does open communication play in overcoming challenges?
So communication. With that, what comes to mind is when we was young. Sometimes you would tell me things from your perspective, special a cultural perspective. A lot of times I used to jump to assumptions or already think, oh yeah, I know that already. And as I got older, I realized those were moments of where that saying comes to mind again. When my partner is in pain, the world stops and I listen. Yeah, like stop talking and let her speak her perspective and her truth. And if you just pause for a little bit longer, right, without judging, right, try to withhold judgment and just be present, you might learn some new things, right? And as a guy too, whenever I hear, if there's an issue or something happened and it's coming from a cultural situation, I want to jump in and fix it. Again, that pushed me into assumptions. And if I just pause and listen and take it all in, it's making space for a new perspective, because experiences, even though I can conceptualize it in my head. It's different when you live it, the lived experience. Yeah.
That's been very helpful.
Oh, mahalo. Took practice. It took practice.
The next one is, can you share experiences that have strengthened your bond across cultural backgrounds?
Experiences. Oh, I have to say the get-togethers again.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
The
yeah,
parties. So when we were teenagers, you first start bringing me around your family for Thanksgiving. And those are the experience again, because that was immersion into culture. And to get to hear the jokes, right? See what people laugh at, not understanding some of the things, but through those experiences, I get to learn the family histories by talking story, and then pushing further, hanging out with your uncles, talking story. I got to learn the deeper histories of your culture that went further back, right? So that ended up helping me connect with all the other things, like the humor, like helping me to understand more about how in certain situations the actions and reactions, why this may be a certain way and that may not be how I would react. But yeah, I think it's if you're in a relationship, interracial, it's important to learn the histories of your partner it allows you to establish a deeper connection over time. And it's also fun to experience new things,
That's really
Yeah.
important to learn.
Yeah.
Just to learn and to know that you're you're marrying into a family that's completely different. You were raised differently, depending on language barriers. There may be families that speak different languages.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's important to embrace that culture.
Yeah. But another thing that comes to mind too is though you're spending time embracing the culture, what's been really fun about you, right? When I take you to Hawaii and everything like that, is you jump right in, right? You jump right in, like if like you're accustomed to city and suburb life, right? But we're putting on tabbies and we're jumping in the river, right? We're climbing over the rocks and stuff like that. And this is totally foreign to you, but you just go for it, right?
Yes.
When you're eating foods that you never had before, right? You just jump right in, and you're like, oh yeah, But the thing about you that I think a lot of my family members like, and other Kanakas, is you share the culture, join in, have fun, but you still are yourself. You still maintain your cultural identity within experiencing our culture, and it makes it fun, right? Because when we're talking story, like, oh yeah, you're eating this certain type of fish, and you're like, oh yeah, you never had it before. It looks scary, but oh yeah, put a little bit of hot sauce on there, maybe some smoked paprika. You know what I mean? Like, right? And
Yeah, I doctor it up.
yeah, you don't pretend that you're Kanaka,
Absolutely not.
but you're right up in the mix, partying with everybody,
Oh
talking
yeah.
story, right?
I will embrace it. I will embrace it. I will love up on y'all, but I will never say I'm Hawaiian because I am not. And I'm very proud of who I am.
Yes.
But I do embrace and love your culture.
Yes, and same with me. I embrace and love your culture. Good fun. And I think it's important to maintain your own cultural identity, because you bring in that to the table, and if you can stand in the good parts of the culture, bring it with you, together. When you come together, it could create something beautiful and new. Like when it comes to the children, right? That's probably another subject too when it comes up.
It is.
Is when you have children, you're trying to, well, for me, how I think about it is you want to bring the best of both cultures to the table, and in blending them together, create something beautiful and new to contribute to the world.
Yes.
Or trying to
Yes.
bring the best of your cultures together to the table.
Yeah. And Thanksgiving was a perfect example of that. You know, our daughter was watching me and helping me make collard greens, and she was also making some type of Hawaiian type of a roll or
It was
Polynesian
pani pani,
roll.
I think.
Yeah, some type of roll. So it was just really, it's really cool because
Yeah,
they are embracing both.
yeah.
But you have to introduce that to them, and they have to see it.
Hmm. And they have to be proud of all their cultures that they are. And if it's from your side, you have to instill, you have to help instill that in them. From my culture side, I have to help instill that in them. And it's important for me not to down or disrespect your culture, especially with our children,
Yeah.
right? Because we want to nurture and support that, and vice versa,
Right.
right?
Yes.
We want them to stand proud in both their cultures, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and you know what? That comes with challenges for them too, though. You know,
It does, but
like
they're navigating through it okay.
they are like one that kind of comes up sometimes, and maybe we should bring somebody on to talk about it, but it's sometimes they're not accepted by, or it's a hard time fitting in or being accepted by both cultures for our interracial children. Yeah.
Yeah, they have that, but as they get older, I think it'll get easier for them.
Well, Genesis is going full blast, right? She's the president of the Black Student Union, and she's a captain of the
Ohana.
Hana Maoli,
Yeah.
or the Ohana Mana,
Yeah.
the hula crew. So she's standing in all her cultures.
Here's a good one. How important is it to educate friends and family about the dynamics of your interracial relationship?
That's
a good question.
That is very important because as I had to go through a learning process too when I was younger, and then continuing, so many of the histories and perspectives from your culture I was completely unaware of. I had no clue at all, and so if I didn't have no clue, and I was been with you all these years, I know what my family or my friends, I know what they don't know, right? So it's just very important to pass that on and to let them know that if they're making like a crazy comment that could be racist or ignorant, you gotta call them out on it. You have to, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to. It is. And it's an education process, like, right? It's what you don't know, you fear, but the more you get to know it, right, the easier it is to find common ground. But you're never gonna know until you go in and actually hang out with that culture and the people.
And experience it and experience them and see them not just for their culture, but as a person.
Yes.
Instead of like crazy stereotypes that they may see on TV.
Yeah.
Even you, I think you were saying that you didn't really know of a lot of Black people.
No, not on Kauai. No.
Yeah.
I just no, not at all. I had one auntie because my uncle went to the military, and he came back home and he married a Black woman, and I used to play with his my cousins all the time, but that was it. Yeah, and so it was just her. So it really wasn't full exposure to a whole ohana of Black family members, So yeah, like most of the histories that some people take for granted, American histories, no idea of it. Yeah, like the entire civil rights movement.
Didn't know.
No clue until I was out here and I met you, and I started talking story with your uncles and your brothers, right? And then I started getting all the inside information, which is that was a fun ride, and continues to this day. I love talking story with them, right? And it also gives insight on. It gave me insight on Kanaka struggles and Kanaka rights struggles too. That actually opened me up to finding out about how in the civil rights era there was a whole movement on the Kanaka side too that I was unaware of for fighting for civil rights. But it was through learning the Black civil rights movements and all the different groups that they introduced me to at the Thanksgivings, right? All the information that's unspoken that weren't in books at the time. Now they are. They're starting to come in the books, but it actually opened up the doorway for me to come back and look at my own people, and their fight for civil rights. So, yeah, good stuff. Yeah.
I have another one. What advice would you give to others seeking to build a strong interracial connections? To build strong interracial connections.
I think we covered a lot. Is immersing yourself in the culture.
Yeah, we
hanging
did
out,
cover that.
hanging out with, and spending time, and being open and aware as experiences happen while you're with your partner. You're going to have opportunities to live the experiences with them. And even though it may not be happening directly to you, that's your heart, and you're there and you see these things over and over again. Yeah, it's not being in denial. It's being open and making space for a different perspective, putting your judgment and assumptions aside, And in certain circumstances, ask yourself, if your partner is trying to tell you something, and you jump to an assumption, just pause, right? And ask yourself, take a look at yourself. Ask yourself, well, let me reassess my assumption, right? Is it possible that what they're saying is actually happening? And then I don't know how many times I can tell you when I stopped to do that throughout our years. It blew my mind. Then it opened the doorway to so many more realizations, even about my own self, about my own people. And it brought us closer together, right? Living the experience with your partner, being there to support. Yeah.
That's good.
Spend time, right? Spend time and go deeper. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Is that all you got?
How do you handle external perceptions or judgments about your interracial relationship?
How do I handle them? Well, I don't know. I've always been proud. Like I've been proud of us. Like when we were younger, especially when we would be walking in the mall and stuff like that, especially out here in Temecula, right, in the 90s. We were both different.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, we walk around, we're different already, right? So, I don't know, for me, it was like I had somebody that was different with me here. I don't know. Like when we're together, I guess I'm in like the Brandy and Koa bubble. I didn't care about the outer judgments. That's the first thing that comes to mind. How do you deal with that? I don't know. I was always different myself anyway. So
yeah, I think this is like, it's a great topic, right? And we are in an interracial relationship. But I will say this: we're both people of color.
Yeah.
We have different struggles, or people have been through different things.
Yeah.
But I will say, off of just what I hear from clients in the salon that are married to or dating a man that is Caucasian, is very different.
With the judgments.
Yes. Yeah. They know, it's like in their face. Like they know they're in an interracial relationship. And with me and you, I think it's like, it's a tad different, because we're both people of color.
Yeah.
And I hear the struggles that some of them have, and they're a little hardcore.
Yeah. Like what?
They're just a little bit more hardcore.
Yeah, the judgments are more harder and direct.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I think so, because it's just in your face. There's a especially with a Black woman and a white man, it's very much like, whoa.
Yeah.
for me and for what I've seen it to be more not accepting, but people see more of a black man with a white woman.
They
But
see more of that.
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
but
Especially
now
back in the day more.
yeah, but now lately,
Mm-hmm.
sisters they're like, okay,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, yeah. It wasn't as much when we were young.
no,
That's right. It wasn't as much
but
black
sisters,
women dating other races. No.
yeah, because
So,
it was like this.
and we did get in our younger years, we did get looks. We did get some looks.
Yeah, but
I remember, but you're right. It's not right. It's different for.
it's hardcore.
Right,
You know, I have
Caucasian man.
this client, this beautiful chocolate client, and she's with this man that's very handsome, blonde hair, blue eyes. They get looks, and it, more so because now black women more now are like stepping out.
Yeah.
You know, not. I mean, I'm not. Shoot, I'm for it. It's okay. It's okay.
Hey,
you know,
wherever you can find aloha.
wherever you
right?
find your love, whatever he may look
Absolutely.
like, boo, you do you. I am proud and happy for you. I don't think that anybody should keep themselves in a box in this dating world. I hear all the stories. I think everybody should just be, I'm looking for love.
Yeah.
No matter if
wherever
you're green,
you can
purple,
find it. Right.
orange.
Yeah.
But
nurture it.
with that, know that there's some possible challenges
There
because
is.
people are ignorant.
Yeah. And you know, when we were young, our parents were concerned. Both of our parents were concerned because
were they?
Cultural differences. Were your parents not? Y'all had a conversation.
Nah,
y'all did. Mine did too.
You.
Yeah, mine did too.
It was more your people than mine.
Yeah, yeah.
I think. I mean, like, let's keep it real. I
Concerned
think it was,
about
yeah,
because your child and the differences, and you know, they didn't go through the experiences themselves either, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, as a parent, if you haven't gone through it yourself, how do you guide your child through when those situations come up? So I think that was a concern for our parents.
Well, I mean, with mine, like my brothers had already stepped out to the side front. You know what I'm saying? They had been with every color of the rainbow. So my parents were already like kind of okay, you know, like they knew, like we had already had grandbabies in the family.
That's true.
Of different races. So my parents weren't so much.
Yeah.
But I think with yours, it was different. Cause like, I'm different.
Yeah. You're different, and you're from the continents too. Like most of my brothers married from
the islands.
From the islands, and brothers and sisters, yeah.
Uh-huh.
But right around the time we got married, my other brothers started marrying outside too.
Who?
My brother Kevin, my brother Titus, yeah, or at least he was with.
Doesn't count.
What are you talking about? Yeah, I have plenty of brothers and sisters, right? I think I got 4 brothers, 4 sisters, right? So, yeah.
You can add it out what you want to, but that don't count. Anyway.
Yeah.
Let's do one more question.
What you get?
How do you balance individual identity with the unity of your interracial relationship?
We touched on that a little bit with the story I was telling you about how when you come to hang out, you don't act like you're Kanaka, but you jump right in and have a good time and participate. I think it's while embracing your partner's culture, it's important to find and be proud of the good parts of your own, and to stand in those and to bring those to the table. You know.
I think you do a good job too. I think you come, you have a good time. You don't try to act like, you know, you one of the brothers. You just act like yourself. You just cold.
Yeah. Gotta be yourself. Yeah.
Gotta be yourself.
Everybody like you even more when you just yourself anyway, yeah.
I
think
makes
it more it makes it more fun.
It makes it more fun, more interesting. You know, like I have never and never will speak pidgin. I just won't, because I cannot.
Yeah.
That's not me.
Right.
You know, but I think it sounds lovely. I think that your language is lovely, but I'm just not. I wouldn't do that.
And everybody loves that you are who you are too. The way you talk, your humor, you know, it brings new, right? New and new and excitement into what might be routine, you know, especially when we go to the islands. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, because you came and you brought your friend one time, and she was from New York.
Oh yeah.
And
they love
my
that.
cousins, right, they all speak pidgin full on, you know, and they never really left the island. So they met Brandy and was talking story, and she had LA accent, and then her friend had New York accent, and all night they just wanted to talk story with you guys because they wanted to hear your guys' accent, right?
I'm like,
my
"An
cousin was
accent? What
like,
you
"Oh
talking
wow, yeah, I
about?"
love your accent," and she was just talking New York style, New York,
New
right?
York. She's from New York. Yeah.
But just that alone, he was having a great time with him, you know.
Good
And then
time.
you guys was having good fun too because it was new
'Cause
experiences,
they're
right?
good fun.
Just throw the
'Cause
fish
they're
on the
good-
fire. Everybody had chopsticks. It was just going for
It's
it.
good fun. Yeah.
So, yeah, stand in your own culture, be proud of it, while being open and embracing and making space for your partners. You can make beautiful things together.
I love that. Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Drink our water here.
Bring something beautiful and new into the world.
All right.
Okay, well, again, mahalo for coming and talking story with us, Ohana. And we talk to you folks next time, right? Aloha.